What is going on, guys? This is him from me and him, bringing you a solo video, and although I might be missing my me, I'm still twice as hyped to bring you this week 1 review of the UCL, or United Championship League. If you clicked on this video, I'm going to assume you know what you're talking about, but if you don't, it's a competitive Pokemon League comprised of 16 of the greatest PokeTubers of all time. I mean, these people are great personalities, just great people in general, and I'm excited to even do this video. I mean, it's not like they gave me permission to do it, but regardless, it's just an honor to do it. I just want to make two things clear. Number one, I'm not a professional battler myself, so I might make errors, I might say things that are wrong, but correct me. I want to be better, and that's how you get better, is through error. And number two, like I said, they didn't tell me to do this. I'm not trying to step on their toes with anything or start anything between these people because I admire them all so much. So let's get right into the video. Let's go. Week 1 review starts now. The first matchup we have the King Nappy and the Tucson Terrakions taking on Cuddle of Death and the Tulsa Talonflames. The match started with Nappy being actually really surprised by what Cuddle of Death brought. He was expecting Ferrothorn and Heatran, and instead he got some weird sets and a pretty trolly Sucker Punch team. Everyone on Cuddle of Death's team was named Sucker Punch or some variation to try to get in Nappy's head, but Nappy didn't let the psychological games get to him. Instead, he predicted very well. He brought a good team and had a good strategy, taking out Salamence early, who was a big threat to him, and just was able to dominate the game and win 4-0. I mean, you have to give it to Cuddle of Death for bringing in these unique sets, trying to surprise Nappy, Surf on Latias and whatnot, maybe made some over predictions as well. It's week 1, you learn from it and you move on. So congratulations to the King Nappy, and he was able to actually preserve his Gengar, which might have been his #1 concern throughout the whole thing. So good job for him. He's 1-0, and we'll move on to the next match. The next match we have, it's a St. Louis Rampardos and A-Drive taking on the Newcastle Nidokings and Patters. This match started off with Patters not bringing Haxorus, which made Dan very happy. Haxorus was a very big threat to his whole team. It was able to keep everyone in check and had possibly sweeping potential after one Dragon Dance. But that didn't mean Patters wasn't bringing his A game today, because he did. He was able to start with Miss Magius, which was very successful, earning him an early KO against Mesprit. And also, Dan kind of beat himself up with little over predictions. He was able to over predict when he had his Raikou out against Slowbro, go for 2 extra centuries, trying to KO the Mega Venusaur, when he could have went for the middle ground play, which would have been the T-Bolt to knock him out. After all the early adversity, Dan was able to sweep with his Hydreigon with Dark Pulse and end up winning the match, and making him 1-0. But I just want to give Patters all the credit in the world, because Dan is a tremendous battler. He's seasoned. He's in the finals in the GBA for a reason. So good for him. That's not a bad loss to take. And just go on to the next game and just have a positive mindset that you went toe-to-toe with this guy. The third match we have, it's the Bristol City Blazekins and Game Boy Luke facing off against the Manchester Magnezones and Feint Attacks. Both coaches were just very busy. Luke coming back from America, having to go to work, and Christian having to do probably something similar. I didn't watch Christian's perspective or Feint Attacks, so I don't really know exactly for sure, but I just know he was very busy. And Luke brought a good team. He did. I mean, there's nothing you could say. He made some great predictions, but Christian played into his hands. He made some terrible plays that were just due to being unprepared. I mean, it's just that simple. Christian stayed in on his Umbreon, switched in his Umbreon on a Mega Scissor, who had super effective Bug-type stab. Just went for unnecessary Thunderbolts against the Scissor, which weren't doing much, allowing him to set up that Swords Dance, and just put immense pressure on his team. Another set I wanted to say was his Florges. It had Calm Mind, but didn't have any type of Psychic move, Psyshock. And this could have put a lot of pressure on Luke's team if he had a Psyshocking Florges with Calm Mind. I mean, that's a setup sweeper right there. He could have took out some Mons and maybe make it more in his favor. But it didn't happen. Like I said, it's just due to being unprepared. It's not anyone's fault. They were busy. Luke wins 4-0, and I'm looking forward to seeing a better match from Christian next week. This match is the Toronto Togekiss and the Heated Moa as their coach, taking on the Bronx Beartics and Pokeaim MD as their coach. Pokeaim is a great battler, and Moa is just concerned with this from the get-go. He mentioned many times how Pokemon is just a great battler and how he was just going to play his best and try to sneak up on a couple people, and that's exactly what he did. Mo played very smart, capitalizing on the Bronx Beartics over predictions early on in the match, and the Hex guy made a couple appearances. You know, he snagged 2 Fire Punch burns, 2 paralysis later on in the match, but it wasn't enough to take down the Pokemon MD, who just kept his composure and played very smart to end the match with his Ampharos with agility, turning into Mega, and then able just to sweep at the end. But you have to give it to Mo. I mean, he's even more dangerous than you think to play because you have one, Mo's a very smart battler. He proved that in this match. And you have the Hacks God who could come out on any given week and just troll anybody and just beat anybody. So you don't know who you're going to get, and that you have to give it to him. He's very dangerous. I'm very curious to see what he does in the future. A great win by Pokemon, wins 2-0, goes to 1-0, and let's go on to the next. The next match we have, and probably the match of the week, being the Philadelphia Gators taking on the Pittsburgh Pikachu's. The Gators coached by PK, the Pikachu's coached by Nexus. And PK started this match hot and cold, and this was before the battle even started. He assessed his win condition being for Alligator. He needed to keep him alive to win. Boy, was he right at the end of the match, but we'll get there when we get there. But he forgot to write down Nexus's team. You know, that Entei was his last mon that he forgot. Spoilers. And that really created uncertainty for who he's going to switch out to, what that last mon was, and it really paid great dividends in this match. Nexus was able to switch. He made many predictions. He switched out a lot. And his Electros, for example, was just a major threat to PK's team. He had coverage for everybody, and he truly just, no one wanted to be in on it. And at this moment, I wasn't sure if PK was able to come back, but he was with his Feraligatr, which he said was his win condition. He was able to take out 3 mons, including the Electros, the Entei, and the Excadrill. And he made it a one-on-one situation, Garchomp versus Amoonguss in the final. But Amoonguss' stall, which was a great play by Nexus, he knew that he needed to get the stall off, was able to win him the match, and that was the difference here. But you have to give it to PK for not giving up and truly fighting till the end. This was a fantastic match, like I said, in my opinion, the match of the week. The match we had was Shady Penguin and the New York Yankees taking on David and the South Beach Slow Kings. And this was a match that experience played a huge dividend for Shady's team, leading in a 6-0 victory. Shady was able to play David exactly how he wanted to play, and every time David tried to react to make a move in his advantage, Shady had the perfect counter. And this just kept happening and happening until it eventually led to Shady winning 6-0, and experience was the difference. Experience was the difference in this match. David just doesn't have the experience in this kind of format. Shady has beyond experience, and that was the difference. It's just hard. That's what I had to stress, just the experience. David had a rough matchup his first week, but you have to look forward to him bouncing back next week and seeing how he could learn from this experience, or if he's going to let it hinder him. But I think he will learn. We'll see what happens next week. Shady wins, goes to 1-0. The next match, and another fantastic match we have, is the Carolina Keldeos coached by Jay and the Grand Canyon Greninjas coached by Twit. Jay was just playing very safe in the get-go, and it really showed with how he played his Registeel against his Cavalier. Twit made some over predictions early, and Registeel was able to get so much damage done on that Cavalier with Seismic Toss. And then when he switched down to Mandibuzz, was able to actually Thunder Wave the Mandibuzz to slow it down. And this just caused great pressure on Twit in the early going. And he really did it all to himself. He was just nervous. He made a misclick in the match. Didn't calc for the Brave Birds, which kept the Registeel alive to Thunder Wave it in the first place. And he just lost so much momentum early due to these misplays. And it was just too much to overcome. I mean, he did come back in the end, but Jay was able to get back the momentum with his Scarf Victini, who was able to absolutely sweep his team. He earned 5 kills and was truly the MVP of this week. He was too much for Twit to handle, and he even mentioned it. Victini had too much speed. Jay's team was too fast for Twit's, and that's just something he has to account for in the following weeks. So we'll see how it goes. Both played fantastic. Good job to Jay. A very safe win, but a win indeed. And Twit, just keep on trucking, man. You'll get better next week. Tough loss. The next and final match we have is the Long Island Reggie Rockies and Nips taking on the Durham Dragons and Leo. Leo played an absolutely masterful artsy performance, and it was truly amazing to watch from beginning to end. How he used his defensive strategies in the beginning with his heal, Cresselia with his Moonlight, is able to get Lantern to get status conditions off for Heal Bell, and try to just earn stalled burns and just try to whittle Long Island Regirocky's roster down until he was able to switch the switch and get ultra offensive with Mega Charizard to sweep in the end. Nips did play well. He had some great switch-ins. He had some great mindset, but then his team just couldn't compare to the Leo's team because Leo's team perfectly balanced Nips, and that was the end. Nips played a great game. He did. He even said he did, but Leo just masterful in his preparation, and that was the difference in 5-0. Very impressive. What's up, guys? And this is the last slide. We're going to have that standings for the first ever week of the UCL. On the left side, we have the coach with their record. On the right, we have the differential. And the differential is there to separate the 1-0 teams from the 0-1 teams. So, for example, differential is, say, PK lost 1-0, so he has a -1 differential, compared to Nexus, who won 1-0, and he has a +1 differential. I just want to take the end of this video just to say thank you so much for even watching this video. I hope you loved it, and if you did, make sure to please like. Just check out my channel in general, comment, all that good stuff. It means so much. This took so much hard work to make. And although it was a blast making, I just want to know that people love the video. So please do all that. Thank you so much again. And I'll catch you next week. Peace!